Yeah, I'm recording. But like this trans stuff, right? Like it seems like it's like a new topic, right? It's not really new. Like how long since you guys have been? No, hold on.
Welcome to the podcast. We are the Midwest Finds Podcast. That's my nomination for the new name moving forward. But that's just my nomination. We'll have to take a vote on it. We need to still come up with a name. My name is Sam T, one and only Midwest Finest Agent. And then these are my brothers.
Yo, what's good? All right. I just wanted to say, because this is not a real topic, but like this stuff, like you guys know, right? Since you guys were like young, like a lot of people go to like the Philippines, go to Manila or Thailand, for example, and they see a lot of these lady boys, right? These are people that you would have no idea was a dude. You would have no idea. They look better. They are way better looking than most of the women.
Until you saw
like feminine. Yeah, of course. I understand that. I'm not saying they're women. Like I'm not here to like argue semantics, right? Like I don't care if you call them a man or woman, doesn't matter. Lady boy. Like they don't even care. Like this whole movement in the US, like I don't know why, but like people have this urge to be called the right thing, like they don't give a fuck what you call them. Like this is just who they are. They don't care if you accept them or not. It's just who they are. Like these like the trans people in like Southeast Asian countries. It is what it is. Like they're not offended if you call them a dude. Like they are. They know. Yeah, I'm a dude. Then I'm a dude, and now I'm a woman. And I don't care what you think. That's the mentality. So it doesn't become an issue, right? But for whatever reason. Like in the US, like I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying like there's the reason it's so contentious. One, it's not just because people one whole side think it's morally wrong, right? Because that exists over here as well. Because a lot of religious people here, arguably, Philippines is maybe even more religious, right? But like, also the problem is on the other side, like on the progressive side, there's this need to like be called the right thing, or they'll flip shit. The whole thing about dead naming. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying like this contributes to the contention of like this whole issue when actually it doesn't affect 99% of the people. It doesn't.
Yeah. It really doesn't.
I'm sure the last 5 times you encountered a trans person, you didn't even know they were trans. You had no idea.
I don't have a problem with that at all, right? I think the issue per se is like you mentioned, it's like the affirmation titles, right? Like if I see the sky is blue, you're not going to convince me the sky is fucking gray, right? I'm just like, what? No, that's not how that works, right? And then like to forcibly change your views into a manner to have to abide to certain fallacies is just something that is beyond me, right? It's just beyond me.
The only thing I have to say about the sex versus gender thing is like gender is not. People always confuse those things. Like the other day, right? It's like someone asked me, okay, in nature, right? In nature, it's like male and female. There's no. That's so. Why would it be in humanity? There's male and female. Well, in humanity, there is male and female, but there's also in nature, there's also hermaphrodites, right? There's only a small portion of life is in nature is actually divided into male and female. It's usually just the animals. Everything else is not divided into that. The whole construct of gender is man-made. It's just a way to classify people. And then even in nature, like in biology, right, we classify everything: species, kingdom, order, all these classifications, right? But then when you and it helps us to study it, to write about it, right? These classifications. But in reality, even those classifications, which are all man-made, don't really exist. Like within species, there's subspecies. Within the subspecies, there's different variation. It's all a gradient. Yeah, it's all a gradient, and there's in every single kingdom and family and order, there's exceptions to all of these things. So these classifications in science, they're to help us. They're only to help us describe, right? The truth. Right, and but it's all man-made. These labels, right?
Let me ask you this then.
Yeah, try to play defensive tackle at corner and tell me about labels.
No, I got you. Let me ask you labels. Let me ask you a very real question that haunts us to this day.
Okay.
What is a woman?
Okay, are you talking about see, a woman is different than a female. I'll say that. Like the female is biologically XX chromosome, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. But then it's like people talk like DNA is the end all be all. It's not. DNA codes for hormones. So you can have the same DNA, but you can artificially change your hormones, right? So there's a link. That's the dogma. It goes DNA, protein, phenotype. So you can, the DNA may not change, but if you change the middle step, you change the end. And people are changing the middle step.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, that's what it is. It changes your phenotype.
So you can get a man pregnant?
That's not. I don't think Eve ever.
But I just told you, man. Hold on. You mean a male pregnant, right? Because a man is a classification that is man-made.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Can you get a male pregnant? No.
But by your theory, he's just saying that you can change it to get an end result. You can't get. You just said that you can change.
Yes, Sam. I understand that you cannot get a male pregnant in 2023, but they're gonna into 100 years they might grow organs. People might get organ transplants, reproductive transplants. I'm not saying it's going to happen and it should happen, but you're saying it like it's not going to happen. You don't think it's going to happen? You really don't think it's going to happen? The way things are going right now,
the first organ they make are like a kidney or a liver or something.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? They're already growing hearts now. So 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 I'm saying that the way things are going, people might
whole uterus and everything.
You're saying it's not going to happen? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying there's a possibility it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time when these rich trans people decides, you know what? I'm going to change my whole reproductive organs, and it's possible scientifically. So why not?
Okay,
you're going to make it illegal?
That person?
Okay, yes. What is a person? Just but your physical self. Does your soul have a gender?
If I get a robotic arm, I can tell you I'm fucking Optimus Prime out here.
You're really thinking?
They're
going to land on Earth now.
Who's going to land on Earth?
That's not a point. You're living in that scientific world saying we're going to live. An alien's going to land. You really don't think an alien's not going to land on Earth? That's what. What reason?
No. For aliens to come here, they have to travel faster than the speed of light, or they'll have to create a ship that they can survive on for years and for generations, unless they're immortal. That is way, way, way less likely than getting an organ transplant, which happens every single day.
Bro, I think we're the aliens.
We are the aliens. That's the truth.
Eventually, we're gonna invade. Yeah, we're gonna roll up and do what we do everywhere else, bro. Attack and enslave.
You know what I'm saying? The whole reproductive system.
Okay.
Like the whole inside is being changed.
Look, we don't know technology, but the way things are looking, it could be possible. But at the end of the day, Sam, it doesn't matter because you can just get a surrogate, right? So whether you think that person's a male or female, it doesn't matter. All they care about is they identify as a man and they can become a father, even though they were born a female. And that's all that matters to them.
That's the point. And I want this to be clear in terms of, because I've had this conversation with my dad, and I'm pretty sure Saeed has had this conversation with his dad, where they're both professors, and in school they misgender. Just like Jordan Peterson there too. This person wanted to be called this way, and my dad said he or she, and then they said no, please call me this. He said I'm sorry,
or they,
and they did that. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, so he asked me that question, and like in real life situation, I could care less what you called. I'm gonna call you whatever you want, because it doesn't matter to me, because it's just my faith at the end of the day. In terms of I don't live in a world where it costs me nothing to be kind. So
yes. No cost me nothing to be kind. Yeah. But I don't want to feel like a moron just fucking spitting out facts that aren't true.
No, but man, like I definitely view it from more of a libertarian approach. Like, do whatever the hell makes you happy. I'm not really gonna beef with that. I don't agree. Like, it's not my shit. But who am I to tell somebody else how to live?
Absolutely. Just don't bring me into that. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but if they ask
how do you define bring you in?
Like, don't put that shit on social media.
Okay, so, all right.
So you
if
just don't want to see it, bro. But they like,
yeah,
they're,
but
they're allowed
in
to
that
exist,
case,
you know?
in that
Like,
case, to say in that case, first of all, that's not freedom of speech, so it's anti-American. Second of all, like,
have you heard of Truth Social? That's pretty American.
All right. Yes, I have heard of Truth Social. Secondly, if you want to, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. So if you want to stop propagating like non-traditional relationships, then you also have to stop propagating like heterosexual relationships. Like, because who's to say what the norm is?
Shit. Do you see what I send you on Instagram? Let me show you what I send you on Instagram.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm using the general you. I don't mean you as a person.
Well, I gotta remember.
I
gotta remember the guy telling us we need to have kids and shit like real soon.
What does he say?
He's trying to propagate these.
Oh yeah. Propagate the family unit.
I want to point out though, in terms of quick question. So somebody asks you, please,
dude.
Hold on, guys. Sam's saying something and his mic is not very high, so it's hard for me to hear.
If somebody asks you, let's say you say, excuse me, can you whatever you say he or a bro, whatever. And they say, hey, please use my things, and you miss. He looks like a man, but you called him a man, and he wants to be called this. Are you gonna switch? Are you gonna call him that or not?
I'll call him whatever. I mean, it's like
if I called somebody by the wrong name and they were like, "Yo, that's not my name." Like,
what about Saeed?
Nah, Saeed says like that, but it
bears me no pain, right? If that's what you want to be called by all means, right? But don't expect me to automatically know this off the bat. Is my thing, right?
Mistakes are
like, don't come at me like, say for example, if you look like The Rock with a wig, okay, and I'm like, yes sir, right, and you're like, excuse me, it's ma'am, and I'll be like, you're more fit of a man than I am, but it's ma'am, bro, like for sure, right? I got you, right? Why not, right? But like, don't be sitting there and be like, oh, how could you not assume? Like, how did you just assume that? And I'm just gonna be like, wait, what? Like, how did I assume my eyesight? Like, how's my eyesight bigoted, bro? Like, I'm sorry.
But it's kind of the same thing. Like, if someone approaches you at work and calls you like a generic like brown person name, right? Like, you're gonna be kind of offended. Like, bro, that's not my name, and like, why did you think that was it? You know,
I mean,
like,
if you're telling me they came up to me and were like, hey, Bhupinder Peters, go ahead and give me this report, right? I probably
you wouldn't be like, yo, that's what the
right?
fuck,
But like, if they came up to me and were like, hey, Melanie, can you get this report? I'd be like, Melanie, what the fuck, fam? Like, do I look like a Melanie to you? Like, that's more
Sam,
odd.
explain to me how it's not the same though. You're making like they're
one's
drawing
blatantly racist, and the other one you might just be blind. Like,
no, but it's the same thing. Like, they're blind to your uniqueness.
Yeah, but like,
blind to your uniqueness, man. We can't be fucking awarding stuff out here.
But you're calling them a name, though.
I have a 4-week-old.
But imagine they call you a name of somebody that looks nothing like you, that is your same color, but like they just like they put you in a group, right? Like, let's say there's somebody who's a similar stature or something, but looks.
Okay, go call Jazz Bhupinder and see if he reacts.
He's a cat, bro.
Jazz won't even react to Jazz.
He's gonna bite me in the foot, bro.
Nobody's gonna come up to me and call me, you know what I'm saying, Daquan. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's racist as shit.
But let's say we were in high school and somebody walked up and said, like, hey, Ray, what's up? You don't look anything like Ray, right? You'd be a little offended that they were like, what the? You're like, bro, how could you confuse me?
No, I wouldn't be offended by somebody calling me like Raj.
That's not a realistic example, I'm saying. If they don't know me, why would they?
But that's the same thing with the professors. Like, they don't know every kid. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like,
but like him, the intent matters, though. I'm saying if somebody doesn't,
intent matters, yeah.
But the person that confuses you for Ray is literally just like, if you think about the way like humans view different races, like you don't recognize the uniqueness because they're not like it. Like, if I see another white person, I'm gonna notice like little details about the way that they look, right? But this is studied, right? Like, if you look at other races, you're not as like keen to those type of differences, right?
I get what your point is. No one's going to say a name, though, is what I'm saying. Give me an example. The moment that he says the name, there's an intent behind it. Of saying, I'm going to mislead.
No, they didn't do it. They don't purposely walk up to you and fucking like confuse you for someone else, because I've done that before. You know, and I don't think like I walked up and was like, oh, I'm about to disrespect the fuck out of this guy. Like, it's just like I walked up and I'm like, fuck, you kind of look like Brandon though, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, but
It happens.
You're right, but you don't do it with like a wrong intent, bro. No, like for example, okay.
But that's what I'm saying.
Somebody
The
gets
two
a call
situations
saying, "Hey,
directly
there's a brown
parallel.
man
There's
with
no
you,"
bad
right?
intent. You made a mistake because humans are bad at perceiving, like, you know.
No. But like that's like saying like this, right? Say for example,
when somebody calls me Jerome, I'm like, "What's your intent?" You know what I'm saying?
Well, if they just call you by a random name that's not your name, that is disrespectful. But I'm saying if they confuse you for someone that looks like in their eyes similar, there's no bad intent there. Like they fucked up, they made a mistake. You know, like they should be paying more attention. But like
that's what I'm saying though. If I finish, if somebody calls me that, there's a difference between the intent. If they didn't know and then says, "Yo, my bad, I thought you looked like a Jerome. I didn't know. Move on." That's what Saeed was saying. The exact same thing though, in terms of.
Somebody, that's not what I was saying.
No.
Okay, hold on. Let Sam finish. That's
racist.
Let Sam finish.
That's racist as shit.
That's not what I'm saying, dude. Come on, let me finish. If somebody says, I call him, yes, sir, and says, yo, and then they tell me, please call me ma'am. I'm like, okay, cool. If that's the end of it, you know what I'm saying? But if somebody pushes it further, that's extra. And if somebody says to me,
but what is the push further?
Okay, hold on.
I tell you, this is what I want to be called.
If somebody says Daquan, and then I'm like, yo, that's not my name. Just call me Sam. Okay, cool. And then they move on. There's no extra stuff. The intent is different. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if somebody makes a mistake in terms of that. Somebody makes a mistake in their pronouns in terms of that. I don't care. But when you say that, oh, you have to know me and that extra, you go offense. That's extra.
No, but you and Saeed, like,
but there's never a time that you would get more. You get more offended. I mean,
no.
Hold
on.
In Mount Clemens.
No, you and Saeed was agreeing with Sam because you were like, oh yeah, see, what if they do extra? But like, okay, when has this happened to you? Has this happened to you?
What?
When
has this happened to you? When was the last time this happened to you?
Sam, when was the last time you accidentally crapped your pants? Never. But are you going
never?
To?
So that's the end of it. These are out when you
crapped our pants.
No, these are outlier situations. Like the situation where the dude is a trans and an asshole. Like it's like reality. Then they're just being an asshole.
Can I rebut to what Sam was saying though?
Yeah.
So Sam, you've never had a situation where you got more like most, like 99% are going to end up like you're saying, like, oh, this is my name, you know, like no big deal, right? But there are some times where you're going to deal with a situation where you get offended, right? Like the other agent, right, from that said like, oh, we don't do that stuff around here. We don't, you know, like there are going to be times where it's not just like, okay, that was a little bit too far, right? Like
that's an intent, though, is what I'm saying. Her intent was to say something reckless.
Yeah, but how many times are these people that are like misgender or something, they just go off like, you know, like, I don't know. I've never seen it personally. Like you hear about it.
There's plenty of viral videos. There's the people that went through, what do you call it, on fast food. And then
how many of those videos are fabricated? How many things on, like, you know, all the interviews and shit you see on Snap, they're like, oh, you know, what are you? You're a 7. Do you think, like, they're all set up, right? Like, who's to say that, like, I don't know. I feel like you just have to look at some of that shit with the...
I'm just saying, though, like, Said answered it as he called somebody in terms of, misgendered, the pronouns wrong. And you got, all of us feel the same way. In terms of if somebody says that, please call me her or she, then we'll all just comply. All of us.
Yeah, move forward.
You know what I'm saying?
Like if Juana Man was like, hey, I'm a girl, I'm not going to be like debating it, right? I'm like, cool. All right, if that's what you want to be, that's what you want to be, right? But if not, Juana Man was like, why the fuck did you not recognize me from the get-go? I'm going to just be like, yo, hold up, pause.
Okay, and Saeed, and when that happens, Saeed, you let me know. And when that actually happens to you, Saeed, you let me know. I want you to Snapchat me right away.
There's not a single time someone was like, bro, you know what? That's fucked up what you did. Like, you know? Like you're imagining an enemy.
Man, they don't understand what we're saying. What we're saying is it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, all right. Let's
So we
see.
must squash it before it happens.
And judging and Sam, like I understand it does happen. I'm sure it does. But judging America on viral videos is crazy because then everybody would think America is just a bunch of mass shootings and people fighting in restaurants.
All that shit is fabricated. All that shit is fabricated.
That's facts right there.
Well, no, it's
all
not.
those videos.
It happens more often than it happens more often than other countries, but it's not everything.
Never been to America.
Look at the incentive structure, though. But what runs things? Money, right? And what gets more views, right? Juicy content, So the juiciest content is not going to be your everyday life is boring, bro. Like, how many times have you gone around? Nothing is exciting, right? The shit you see on these videos is not some shit that really happens. It's manufactured. It's fabricated.
It's pretty exciting material.
They're victims here. Don't say these people are not victims. And okay, move on.
All right, yeah, that was a good one. Okay, wait.
Same topic though.
Oh, really?
This whole started because of the conversation about Dylan. I can't say his last name. What's his last name?
I don't even know his last name.
Anyways, but he got his he became Nike and Bud Light.
Yeah,
I believe. I mean, it's my belief that they are pushing this. First of all, bro is not
What were you about to call him, Sam?
I think he's a trans. I think she's a trans woman, right?
Yeah.
So
Dylan, I don't know if he switched his name.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah.
Yo, I just would like
Dylan's
to
a girl's
say
name.
We should remove that previous segment from
That's
the
debatable.
podcast, dog.
No one's watching it. We don't get that many views yet.
Mention that stuff in.
If people find this video,
Dylan,
We're all canceled.
is not the ideal candidate when it comes down to Bud Light drinkers or
training bros.
I don't think so. No. Okay.
$1,000 and he probably has $4 million worth of exposure.
Okay, can I say
publish it?
I can't find my fucking breeze.
They're talking about.
Sam is like, Sam, your internet's
I don't
messed
even
up.
know who Dylan is. I'm mention.
Sam froze.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
gotta find my breeze, man.
Go ahead. I just want to say something for the record. Like, most of these people say Bud, like who people that drink the demographic that drinks Bud Light, right? But the truth is the most money Bud Light gets is not from this specific demographic. They get it from college students, and most college students around the country, they are progressive or they don't care. So they'll make more money being on the pro-trans side than the anti-trans side because they're a corporation. They're amoral. They're going to be on the side that makes more money. That's just the way it is.
You're thinking way too long on the business strategy here. Think about it. How much do you think they paid? They paid her to do that, right?
Yeah.
Way less than the amount of exposure they've got.
Exactly.
So just even if later on they walk it back, like bro, it's already big. You know how many times so you have the advertisement goes on the bottle, somebody sees it, people talk about it, right? I buy Bud Light all the time. I've yet to get one of these fucking bottles. Like I don't even know if they're actually
that one was specifically for her because of her birthday. It's not even sold. It's just for her.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. And I've heard about this shit on Yahoo News, on and basically every time I open up the fucking internet, here's another example.
I didn't even know about it until Kid Rock started shooting the Bud Light cans with the SMG. I was like, why is this?
I was talking about what happened. I was like, I've never heard of that person in my life. I literally never heard of that person.
As a new father, right? I just feel like
that draws attention.
Okay, yeah, I want to go in this direction. Go ahead, Said. Yeah.
As a new father, right, having to explain to someone, a child growing up, is something that I really do dread, though, honestly, right? Like, hey, Dad, like, you have bigger tits than this man. Why don't you wear training bras? Fuck, babe, I'm sorry, I'm fat, right? I'm fat. What do you want me to say, right?
Okay.
But then seeing somebody like this, being fucking sponsored by Nike for training bras.
But life is all about difficult decisions. Like, how are you going to talk about, becoming an adult? The world is a complicated place. There's a lot of,
It is.
How do you talk about crime? How do you talk about,
it's already difficult as hell to raise a child, right? add that into the equation. Now we're talking about Pythagoras theorems and shit like that, bro. Where it's just like, bro,
that's
what?
No, so I understand your concern is like it's against your cultural morality,
Exactly.
and you don't want this propagated. You don't want it propagated so openly. But I just want to play devil's advocate here, and just to be clear, I don't think anybody said anything extra, so I don't think anybody has to worry about anything so far. But like, the thing is like, just to play devil advocate on the other side, right? It's like the thing is, straight hetero relationships are propagated all the time in media. Even movies that have no business having love stories have love stories. Fucking WALL-E had a girl robot girlfriend. Fucking WALL-E did, bro. WALL-E's a robot. Okay, so this is a picture of FDR when about over 100 years ago. So it shows that gender norms are malleable and they're always changing with the times. Like this is, if anybody showed this today, it looks like a picture of a baby girl. So that's what I wanted to say. So you're saying
you obviously that's correct right there in terms of that. But the difference now is we have hormones being involved to change that. And then there's some people that might regret that later on when they actually fully develop into being an adult human being in terms of that. I could care less once you make an adult and you make an adult decision. But when you're a kid, and in terms of that, and then your parents make that decision for you, or you, at the end of the day, your parents are the ones that are going to have to sign it off. But I don't care if you feel like if my kid says, I want to wear boys' clothes, or I want to wear girls' clothes, honestly, I would be like, why? And try to figure out and have a conversation in terms of that. But it'd be a difficult conversation. But I'm not paying for any hormone. But I'll let her do whatever they want at the end of the day. I'll raise them, and I wouldn't think I'm raising them as a failure. I wouldn't think I'm a failure. Because if I show love and show them my values and my beliefs, at the end of the day, it's their decision to make a decision in their life. There's only so much a parent can do.
Yeah. But do you think the first thing that you brought up when you said I thought I'd be a failure doesn't speak to the fact that that was a legitimate thought that went through your head though?
I would not think I'm a failure at all.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm saying that by when you're like, oh, if that happened, then your first point was like, if that does happen, I won't view myself as a failure. Like that's giving credence to like that would be a legitimate concern.
For some people, yeah, it won't be for me.
Yeah,
but all I'm saying is, if it comes down to it and the kid says that they want to, I'm like, that's fine. I will not fund a transaction. You can do that as an adult. Yeah. Go for it. But if you want these clothes, go for it. But at the end of the day, though, and you'll always be my kid for the rest of my life. I'm always that's my take, and I would like to hear you guys' take on that. I
want to give a take because I think it's important because we're dealing with children. Just to be clear, like the human brain doesn't fully develop until they're about 24. Okay, 27. But of course, 27. Yeah,
in my opinion.
But like the point is, we cannot have age limits on things until you're that old because a lot of people die before then, and and it's like you can't just like. The voting age can't be 27, right? Because then you'd be misrepresenting people. So the voting age is 18. You can go to war and die for your country at 18, right? You can't technically
have a drink or buy weed.
Yeah, I mean you can't drink. You can't drink until you're 21, right? In the U.S., but in most places it's 18. So I kind of feel the same way. Like I think 18 is sort of the age where we say, okay, you know what, adult, you're responsible for yourself. Okay. And I also want to preface with another preface. Like I'm against any form of child mutilation. I mean, like, except for maybe very specific cases of like religious things, like, for example, circumcision. Okay. So, but like one of the biggest problems in the world right now is, for example, female genital mutilation. Right. and a lot of these girls don't have a choice in it, and it's because of misogyny, right? That's what it is. Okay, now, it matters because in this case we're changing the body, and we're, as the adult, the responsible party, changing the body of someone in our care, right? Which is the child in this case. Whether it's hormone treatment or like I've seen, I don't know if it's true or not, but I have seen what, like, it's like kids getting gender reassignment surgery as children, like not even as adults. Okay. I think I've seen it, and I hope it's not like doctored or propaganda, but I just want to say, like, I am afraid of that as well. And I agree with Sam. Like, I think as children, those sort of things, I don't think you should do. Like,
yeah. So I got this.
Yeah,
Eve raises a great question.
No, but before Eve, I wanted to hear Eve. If your kid asks for that, what would you do? And then if your kid wants to wear the opposite sex clothes, how would you react on those two things? And I want all of you.
I would be fully supportive, but I think I right now, for the lack of thought that I've thought about this would be the first time I think about it. Like, I would probably be in your boat. I would say just wait. Like, I would say, well, first of all, like, depending on your religion and culture, like, think about it for a second time. And then secondly, like, I would say wait, like, until you can make your own decision, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be responsible when you're the responsible party. Like, you're responsible for the person's life. Like, for everything you do to a kid before they're an adult, you're responsible. Like, because the child didn't choose to be conceived. So that's why you're responsible, right? You chose to bring a life to this world. So I think right now I would say I'm more in your boat, Sam, on that, just because we're dealing with children. So yeah. And speaking of a similar thing, and John wanted to say something as well, I think. The Olympics committee, I think, or the world sports, they already decided that they will not consider any trans people in the, I guess, for the lack of a better term, opposite gender sport that they're transitioning into, if they went through puberty in that gender. So, like, if you were born a man and you went through puberty as a man, you won't be able to compete in women's sports, even if you become a trans woman. If you, like, in the world stage, I don't know how it is in the, like, of course it's not to the high school level or local level. I don't know how that goes, but at least in the Olympics, you won't be seeing any of that. Yeah. Okay. That's all I say.
Yeah. I mean, I think Eve brings up like a really difficult topic of discussion, right? Like children's rights, right? Like, obviously we know that, like, as the guardian, like, that you have a certain responsibility to guide them, help them make good decisions, right? I also believe that, like, like, puberty is a time of a lot of difficult hormone. Like, there's a lot of weird shit going on, like I don't think that, like, a human being should make a decision like that you can't turn around at a point where you're going through that type of change, because, like, the hormones are going wild. Like, the way that you feel today is not going to be, like, you're impacted directly by all those things. Right. So, like, it's best to make those decisions, like, after it's been, after that has been solved. Right. But also it begs the question is, like, obviously children, like, like, you make the decisions for them, but, like, there's a level of autonomy that grows, right? Like, you wouldn't treat a 12-year-old like you would a 17-year-old, right? Like, 17-year-old is still technically legally, a minor, right? But, like, as you get older, you get more autonomy, right? And some people are more mature than other people, right? So, like, it's hard to dictate an age where you're like, okay, well, here's where you can make the decision, right? At 18, at 21, and they could still, like, it's just a difficult decision on what you're doing. I agree with both of you. Like, I would encourage them to be themselves and, like, be their authentic self. But, like, I don't think that you, like, need to do anything until you've got to a point where you can make a rational decision based on reason, like, and I don't think that a child's able to make those type of decisions. So, but, like, it does, like, 18, like, there's some people at 20 that, like, still can't make good decisions for themselves.
Right.
So,
yeah.
it's like, it's a difficult thing because we're like, okay, 18 is the hard mark, right? At 18, I was a moron. Like I wouldn't trust myself to make decisions until I was 22, 20, looking back, like, but at some point you have to draw a line. Like that's the difficulty with the law, right? You have to make a rule for everyone and you have to have a standard that's non-deniable, right? So it can't be just like, oh, when you can do, like, it has to be based on age or something like that, right? And there's a lot of variation between individuals.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to draw, like, when would you know you can make that decision, right? Like, if let's say you have a child that's 17 that says they want to do this, right? Yeah. And like, oh, okay, you don't agree with it. Like, oh, when I turn 18, I'm going to figure out a way to make it happen. Like, it's a difficult thing to run because then, like, you're also dealing with a relationship with that person, right? Like, you have a child, and if at 17 they view like you rejected their decisions and stuff like that, like, how do you continue that? They might resent you for the rest of it. It's just it's a situation. Luckily, I've never been in, but there's no good answer. Being like, oh, like, this is it. It's not a black book law thing. It's like everything in law school. It depends. It depends on the factors. It depends on the circumstances. Like, it's a case by case situation where it depends on everything that's happening, right?
How would you specifically handle it if it was your kid?
I have to have the circumstances. How old is the child? What has been going on? Like, how to, like,
scenario that you just asked them at 16 in terms of that, would you pay for this sex change?
They asked me at 16 if I would pay for the sex change. That's the scenario.
Under 18, yeah, under 18.
But how far under 18? 16, I think, was more mature than 14. I don't think I'm still doing it. Like, I still don't think I'm doing it, regardless of the circumstances. But it depends on the person. Like, let's say at, like, 12.
I'm talking about you at 17.
Yeah, but it doesn't apply to me.
No, if the kid was like me at 17, hell no.
But yeah, what are the circumstances? Was it like, did they determine at 11 or something that they felt differently and they've been acting differently from 11 to 17? Like, that's a different circumstance than somebody coming up at 17. It's, like, it still is, like, it's still not cut and dry.
For me and Eve, though, it doesn't matter the circumstances. You're paying for it on your own. That's what's the case. So you're saying,
it also depends on my means, right? Like, if by the time I have a 17-year-old, I assume I'm making bank, right? If I truly believe that that's what they want to do and they're 17, I couldn't say that I would never do it. Like, depending on circumstances. Like, I like sitting here right now, I'd say no, but I'm also like, I wouldn't rule it completely out. Like, if I felt like they were making the decision that was right for them and I had the means and it wasn't going to hurt me financially, and I felt like that was the best thing for my child, then maybe, I don't know. Luckily I've never been in that situation, but yeah, I wouldn't completely rule it out. It's a low probability.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's the 18 cutoff point is like, because I think it's crazy. Like, if the country can ask you to go die for the country at 18, then I think you can do whatever the hell you want.
I also disagree with that, though.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. But that's what it is.
I think it's inherently fucked up that they post up fucking military personnel in your high school. You remember every time we went to lunch, there's a recruiter sitting there, and I'm 14, and he was like, "Yo,
it's a reason. It's the reason why it's 18. Like, it's a reason. It's because if it was 22, then you'd lose half the people that are volunteering.
Yeah.
First of all,
but it provides a lot of benefits too. Like, I'm not ruling it completely out either.
Of course. Yeah.
I don't think they should be posting the fucking lunchroom though. I think you should seek them out.
Let's see what Saeed's opinion is on this topic.
Oh man, okay. So first things first, right?
The only father here, by the way.
Yes, thank you. It's a blessing. I just need some sleep now because I'm fucking delirious. So, but my biggest thing is this with this, right? Live however you want to live, right? We live in a God-given country where you're allowed to do that, and you're able to do that freely. Obviously, there's everybody's opinions align on this? Hell no, right? And who am I to come in here and be like, you know what? This is what everybody should do. No, but obviously when it comes down to my child, I feel like there's certain things, implications that I was raised, not implications, but faith-wise, I guess you could call it, cultural beliefs that I was raised with. And I think, do I want to impose those beliefs? Absolutely, right? Like I grew up in a certain household. Obviously, even being within the United States, right? My cultural beliefs at home were very different than I would say a lot of the majority of the normal households that you see right now. If my daughter came up to me at 5 years old and was like, Dad, let me play with an action figure. Absolutely, homie. Right? Go ahead. Here's Iron Man. Go have some fun. Whatever. Right?
Yeah, you never.
Now, my daughter came up one day at 15 and was like, Dad, I think I'm Robert Downey Jr. I'd be like, let's be honest. You're very ugly Robert Downey Jr. Like, I'll be very honest.
You're not a legend yet,
babe. 15 years for you to be somebody that you're not, right? Like, it's just not like, it's not just something that I would not abide to. Now, at 18, she comes in and is like, Dad, I want to do this. I'm going to be like, okay, I've raised you in a certain manner my whole life, right? If this is really what you want to do and if this is what you believe is right, go ahead and try it. Because your mom is going to whoop that ass. And
but at that point, you've lost control, right? Because like either you accept it or
because at the end of the day, you got to realize, bro, like,
you know?
As a parent, one of the things I'm realizing now is this. Right now, she depended on me, right? Like the next few years, she'll be dependent on me. But at one point, just like how all of us have different beliefs in our parents, right? At one point in time, she's going to fly away from the nest and she's going to want to do what she wants to do. My job is to make sure that until she's here within this nest, that her priorities and like the cultural beliefs that we all share in this house are implemented correctly, right? Like that is my goal. Whatever happens afterwards is something that I can't speak with. Just like how none of our parents can speak for our actions that we've taken after a certain while, you know? So it's a very difficult question to really think about, like, man, what would you do in that situation, right? I would hope to God that my daughter followed the same beliefs that I've had growing up, right? Like, now, are they going to be different? By all means, they're going to be different, right? But at the same time, am I going to vilify her for having different beliefs than me? No. And like Sam said, that's my child, right? Like that is something that now having a child in my hand, it's like, damn, girl, no matter what the fuck you do, I'm going to die for you, right? Even if you do some wild ass shit, I'm probably going to be like, why the fuck did you do that, right? But I will die for you. And I will stand on that pedestal to fight that battle for you because you're my child. And that love, I think as a parent, whoever is able to walk away from that's a personal fight that you got to fight. Because your job as a parent and as a father is to support that child no matter what.
Good man.
I agree. I appreciate anybody want to do a final take on this?
No, I think that's a lot. That's a lot.
I say wrap it up right here. New podcast name. I would like everybody.
Oh yeah, can we talk about that?
Yeah, because I'm going to say, like, it seems like there might be some personal gain involved in Sam's suggestion. I'm just going to throw it out there.
What is it?
Sam, the thing is, Sam, the
current company
I love you so much that, like, if you think this will help you, like, I'll name the podcast for you, bro. We could name it that.
Hey, you know what? On that note, I'm backing you too. I'll third that.
Hell yeah! What? I mean, hey, look. If my boy could get something from it and you could put us on the map, by all means, fucking do it, bro.
And first of all, it was half a joke.
Yeah, but I was a little bit disappointed. Sam didn't take any of my advice.
What was your advice?
You were wasted.
It was still solid advice, right? It was still solid advice, dude. No matter how fucked up I might have been.
Today, we had a project meeting with the two creative designers, and you were supposed to be there. Wasted. Never made it in the meeting.
Well, I gave him my suggestions on the prior.
What was it? Let's see it.
Not apply.
He said it should be just an MF. Letters.
Because he did all the states, and I said it gets too complicated with this many states. Also, there's debatable states as far as what the Midwest is.
It's not debatable. No, because the federal government defines it as the Midwest. And those are the
Did you include Missouri?
Yeah, but I think Missouri is included.
Exactly. That's where my beef is. I have the same beef with people in Missouri trying to tell me they're from the Midwest. They are from the South. I do not agree with them. If you're south of the Mason-Dixon line, you're not in the fucking Midwest. That's my rule, bro. If you kept slavery around, you're not the Midwest, bro. You are the South.
As a lawyer, objection on there.
Objection. Hearsay.
Government has already overruled, as the president said, the Midwest includes those states.
So now we're going to start trusting the government.
It's the law. I fight for it.
Hold on, man.
There's not a law.
Can we see the podcast names?
Yo, have you ever met somebody from Southern Illinois? I would argue the Midwest doesn't even include all of Illinois. That it gets bifurcated in the middle, bro. Once you get below, probably once you're on 55 and you've gone like 70 miles, you're not in the Midwest anymore, bro. Talk to those people.
All right, so right now our options are the Midwest finest, okay, which we couldn't win by default if y'all decide. What is the other options?
I don't know, but
the Roast and Toast podcast.
Roast and Toast.
I only say that because I already have the intellectual stuff on it for YouTube and shit.
Oh,
the podcast project.
Hey, I had a good idea, but our podcast topics don't really suit it. But like, if we were talking about just pop culture, I told Sam about this. If we're just talking about pop culture, I think a good podcast name would be Culture Wars, because it's a pun on.
That's
like,
already a thing, though.
Is it? Oh man, these dudes steal my ideas all the time.
Eve, that's been a thing for like 4 or 5 years.
I mean, it's a podcast.
Where the hell did you come from?
Because I know like the culture wars, but they're talking about like the political culture.
Yo, hold
wars.
on. Why don't we call ourselves Milk Chocolate?
Nah, man.
I'm gonna need some more explanation on why I think that's a good name.
I mean, no racial. Okay, we all have different shades of brown. JD starting off with pure white.
No, I got pure white.
Milk
chocolate.
So who's lighter or who's darker, me or Saeed?
Me.
Saeed's darker.
Saeed's darker?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
You're like
Is that a serious question?
I don't know. I always felt like we were the same.
Oh, I'm the dark brother.
No, bro. Are you serious? Yeah.
I'm so proud of being called, joining my my drunk brothers out there.
What?
And I've always been marginalized for not. I've always said I've been an outdoor brother all my life. They used to call me an indoor.
You spent very long time out
Sam's
there.
not even. You're not even that dark though.
No. I am the. I am for this. Yes, I
It's
am.
wild.
Oh, for this,
Same claim. He got bossed up in sevens today.
I am the definition.
He got bossed up in sevens today.
Speaking of this, I was thinking about this because, like,
I was 21, bro.
Because Saeed is
the first game.
Saeed is like your parents are the same ethnicity, right? You're from Lahore. You're both Punjabi.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm half Punjabi and half Baja, which is an indigenous race here in Malaysia. But Sam, I think your parents are not the same ethnicity, right? Like your mom is different than your dad, right? Or are they the same?
Yeah.
I thought you said your mom spoke a different language.
Side?
Both my dads speak the same.
They're both Tigray?
No, they're not. They're both. Don't start a war right there. We're not both, they're both on the other side of that.
Yeah. So Lula's the only one.
Oh, so they're both the same, but they're specific ethnicity in it.
No. Lula's not Tigray.
No, but his girl is, or his,
Yeah, Lula's adamantly saying those people. He on my mom and dad's side in terms of.
No, but he's flipped. I thought that's why Salamu has beef with him.
What the hell was that?
Yeah. And long story short, my mom she has a little bit of Eritrea in
Eritrea, yeah.
That's the same as Salamu, right? He's Eritrea.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Eritrea, but Eritrea was Ethiopia until like 10 years ago. So
is it a different country now?
No, I thought they were just in the mountains. They're the same country, right?
It's a different country.
Oh, dang. Interesting. Okay.
Their independence.
Okay. That's good. That's some good fact there. And JD, your what's your ancestry? Are you English?
I'm Habesha.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad's family is definitely Irish. My mom's family is Russian and English,
German.
I guess.
Because I have
0% German. I'm not German.
Because
I took German in high school.
Sorry, I don't want to but I didn't never ask you this, but did you take your mom's last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and my mom, growing up, her family went to a Russian church. They're Catholic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you Catholic? Are you like John Wick?
No, I wish I was fucking that cool, bro.
Makes sense. I knew
like John Wick's dog water.
I mean it.
So happy Good Friday, by the way.
Thank you,
sir.
So
hey, 2 weeks for Eid. Let's get it, boy.
Hey, if you know,
it will rise.
Put your name, your comments on the what do you call it? Podcast name.
Hey, Jazz Flow, Jesus, stop.
And I want you
Did
guys.
You say Jazz?
Good Lord, Arlo.
This man doesn't know his cat's name.
So we're still sticking with the Home Team Podcast then for today?
Oh, yeah.
No, man, we have rebranded.
Okay, what is our
We'll come
rebrand?
back with a brand name again.
Okay, but I have to post it today with some name.
Yeah.
Today's the Home Team.
Hey, rebranded.
Question mark.
Rebrand coming soon.
Yo, same faces, new name.
Hey,
Just as much love, fellas.
hit your boys. For
If
Dan.
you're still here, we love you. If you watch the end, we really, really love you.
In tribute of Eve, I think we should change our name to the Island Boys.
Oh, yeah, I wish. I wish.
But the fourth of you staying to the end are my parents, so I love you. And then the other half are Saeed's parents and family, so we love you too if you're staying.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if John's parents or Eve's parents watching, but we love their
Probably
parents in terms of that.
If you want me to get arrested.
Yeah, shout out to the Hater family, man. Really making everyone feel like part of the community, you know, man.
Yeah,
Come on
good
through,
thing,
baby.
there,
The
much
doors
love.
are always open. My house, my family's doors is always open.
Man, yeah, I've
Just let
never
them-
met a group of better people.
Just let them know they might have to
I love
feed.
y'all.
They're gonna have.
Oh my
They,
God.
they may have to feed a bum for a couple of weeks.
I told him, I was like, Eve's coming. Mom goes, he's been coming for the last 5 years. He's not coming.
Hey Eve, don't bring cake, dude. Bring
He
some,
was sitting there, I was
bring
like,
some
Mom,
low
he's
carb.
coming. He's like, since
Bring some
2018.
low
I was
carb.
like, you walking.
Low
He'll be
carb.
here eventually.
Eve, you know, like I got like half your wardrobe still here, right?
Yeah, but I don't fit in any of those.
Yeah. Make that 3.
Medium, bro. Yeah, I'm like the Malaysian, the Chinese, Malaysian, Asian sizes are different than the American sizes. You know, in
Significantly
Malaysia,
differently are they?
I can still wear medium to large in the US. Like medium would be
Yeah.
cutting it close. And my waistline right now is 38. Okay. When I left from 8 years ago, I was a 32. Yeah. So now in Malaysia, if I order things from online, I have to get 3XL Asian size.
Yeah, they put you on blast?
No, they said, yo, I'm probably quadruple XL there.
It's not even like it is the fatness. Like Malaysia is the fattest country, is the America of the Southeast Asia. Like we have the fattest people because they're kind of like hobbits. Like they have like first breakfast, second breakfast, there's tea time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like there's a lot of, and then a lot of their foods have coconut milk in it. And coconut milk is really, really high in fat. So like our traditional meal, nasi lemak, it's for breakfast. So fatty rice is the staple breakfast here. Okay, so like anyway, what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, I gotta lose some weight.
Make that all 3, 4.
Hey man, might be time to open up a Malaysian restaurant back home. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Bro, people eat that shit up.
All right, boys. Hey, go get some dubs for me. I got to go feed the baby.
Oh, are we done? No second topic? Okay.
No, I think we should wrap it up here.
All right, for sure. We'll wrap it up. We're still the Home Team Podcast.
I'll be home again. I'll be back in my place tomorrow, so let's get some caught in tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I'm hopping on right now.
Yeah, I'm hopping on right
boys,
now.
Have some fun.
All right. Peace.
Peace, babies.